Okay, so have you ever noticed how some people just seem to like breeze through relationships,
Yeah.
while others like get stuck in these like crazy cycles of, drama and misunderstanding?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna like unlock that today. It's called
Yeah.
attachment theory.
It's a powerful tool
It
for
is,
understanding those patterns.
and it's really all about like
Hmm.
how our earliest bonds, particularly those with our caregivers
Yeah.
in childhood,
It's pretty
really create the blueprint for
those early ones, yeah.
how
It's
we
synced with others.
untext with others through our lives. It's
Yeah.
almost like a hidden code,
Yeah.
influencing our relationship choices, how we communicate,
Right.
how we handle conflicts.
Hmm.
So today we're taking a deep dive into this fascinating field
Absolutely.
using excerpts from some key texts on the subject.
Yep.
Get ready for some aha moments as we explore the three main attachment styles:
Oh, yeah.
secure, avoidant, and anxious.
You might even see yourself in there.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
But here's the really great part about this. We're not just uncovering these patterns.
Right.
We're also exploring how they can be shifted
That's the hopeful part.
and changed.
Exactly.
So it's not like we're
Yeah.
stuck with what we learned in childhood.
Nope.
There's hope for us.
Absolutely. There's always hope.
But let's rewind. Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Where does attachment theory even come from?
Well, it all started with John Bowlby,
Okay.
a British
Yeah.
psychiatrist
Yeah.
who really
Yeah.
revolutionized how we understand human connection.
I remember when I first read about Bowlby,
Yeah.
like mid-20th century,
Yeah.
observing these children who were separated from their parents.
Yeah.
And noticing like these striking patterns.
Particularly if it was prolonged separation.
Yes, and how that impacted them so deeply. It had
Uh-huh.
such a lasting impact on their emotional development and ability to form healthy relationships.
Exactly. He found that children are hardwired to seek proximity to a caregiver,
Yes.
especially when they feel threatened or distressed.
And it's not just about like food and shelter. It's about
or physical safety.
that deep emotional security.
That sense of feeling safe,
Yes.
protected in the world.
It's like that foundation of trust. So from these early
Yeah.
experiences with caregivers,
where it all begins.
our attachment styles emerge.
Yeah.
And that really shapes how we approach relationships
Right.
throughout life.
Imagine a child on the playground who falls and scrapes their knee.
Okay.
A securely attached child will likely run to their caregiver
Yeah.
for comfort, knowing they'll be met with warmth and reassurance.
They feel safe expressing their emotions
Yeah.
because they trust that the caregiver will be there for them.
Right, and that stems from consistent, responsive caregiving.
Okay.
Those needs being met
Yeah.
promptly and reliably.
Consistently.
Yeah, creating a sense of trust and security.
So these kids,
Yeah.
as they grow up, they tend to have stronger relationships,
do.
greater emotional stability,
Uh-huh.
better communication skills.
And they become the friends and the partners we all want to have around.
They're the ones you want.
Supportive, empathetic, dependable.
Yes.
But sadly, not every child gets that
No.
idyllic experience.
Right.
What happens when those early caregiving experiences are
Yeah.
inconsistent or neglectful?
That's where things get a bit more complicated.
That's when we see the development of avoidant and anxious attachment styles.
So let's unpack that.
Okay.
Let's start with avoidant attachment.
Go ahead.
What's happening with those kids?
So imagine a child who repeatedly reaches out for comfort,
Okay.
but their caregiver is emotionally unavailable, dismissive, or rejecting.
So their needs are not met?
Their needs are not met.
Okay.
Over time, this child learns to suppress their needs for emotional closeness.
Heartbreaking.
They might even appear incredibly independent
Yeah.
and self-reliant.
Yeah.
But often that's a mask
Right.
for a deep-seated fear of vulnerability.
So they've learned to just shut down their emotional needs in order to cope.
To cope with the situation.
So how does that then
Yeah.
translate into
Yeah.
adult relationships?
Well, those early experiences of emotional distance often carry over into adulthood.
Okay.
Individuals with an avoidant attachment style may find it difficult to open up
Yeah.
and truly let people in.
So they might keep partners at arm's length,
Right.
have difficulty with intimacy,
Mm.
struggle with trust.
Yeah, because they're afraid of being hurt or rejected all over again.
Yeah. They've learned that it's safer to rely on themselves than
Than to depend on somebody else.
other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then anxious attachment, how does that develop?
Anxious attachment often arises from inconsistent caregiving.
Okay.
So sometimes the child's needs are met with love and attention,
Yeah.
and other times they're ignored or dismissed.
It's like that push and pull.
It is that unpredictability.
You never know what to expect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that creates deep insecurity in the child.
And that anxiety
Yeah.
then manifests in their relationships as a
Yeah.
constant need for reassurance,
Right.
fear of abandonment,
That's
clingy behavior.
Yeah, always checking their partner's phone,
Oh, yeah.
needing constant validation.
Always worried they're going to leave.
Yes,
Yeah. That can really put strain on the relationship.
it can.
So we've got these three
We do.
distinct attachment styles.
Uh-huh.
Secure attachment,
Yep.
where individuals feel confident and secure in their relationships.
Right.
Avoidant attachment, where there's that tendency to pull away from intimacy.
Yes.
And anxious attachment,
Mm-hmm.
characterized by that constant need for reassurance and fear of being abandoned.
And while Bowlby laid the groundwork
Yeah.
for understanding these attachment styles, his work was really just the beginning.
There's so much more to it.
There is. Other researchers have contributed valuable insights that have deepened and broadened our understanding.
Like Mary Ainsworth.
Yes, Mary Ainsworth.
Right, with that strange situation experiment.
Absolutely.
So fascinating.
It provided further evidence for Bowlby's ideas
Yeah.
and also identified a fourth attachment style.
Oh, there's a fourth one.
There is. It's called disorganized attachment.
And what's that all about?
This one's often observed in children who've experienced trauma or abuse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they display these conflicting behaviors, wanting to be close to their caregiver
Yeah.
while also seeming fearful of them.
So their source of comfort is
Yeah.
also the source of fear.
Exactly.
Oh, that's going to be so hard.
It is.
Yeah, it just seems like these early attachment experiences can have such a powerful
They can.
and lasting impact on how we relate to others.
Right.
It's almost like it gets imprinted on us.
Yeah, you're right. Those early experiences can have a profound impact,
Yeah.
but they don't have to define us.
Really? There's hope for change.
Absolutely.
Even if we didn't have the most secure start.
That's where the work of Hazan and Shaver comes in.
Okay.
They applied attachment theory to adult romantic relationships,
Mm-hmm.
demonstrating how those early bonds continue to influence us,
Mm-hmm.
but also emphasizing that those patterns can change with self-awareness and effort.
So even if our childhood wasn't perfect,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean we're destined for a lifetime of relationship struggle.
Not at all.
Okay, that is good news.
That's the good news.
Yeah. So then this brings us to this broader context of human relationships.
Exactly.
And while attachment theory is incredibly insightful, there are other fascinating perspectives that can help us understand these complex dynamics.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about those.
Okay.
What else is out there?
Well, Carl Rogers, a renowned humanistic psychologist, had a lot to say about the power of empathy, congruence, and unconditional positive regard
Okay.
in building strong therapeutic relationships.
But how does that apply to relationships outside of therapy?
That's a great question.
I mean, not all of us are in therapy.
Right. But Rogers believed that those same qualities are actually essential for building trust and connection in any relationship.
Okay.
Empathy,
Yeah.
congruence, unconditional positive regard.
Yeah.
These are the building blocks of deep connection.
So it doesn't matter
Because
if we're talking about romantic partners, friends, family,
co-workers.
co-workers, anyone in our lives.
Right.
These qualities make a world of difference
They do.
in creating more fulfilling dynamics.
Absolutely. Now, another fascinating perspective comes from Konstantin Sedekides,
Okay.
who explored the different facets of our sense of self.
Okay. The sense of self.
Yeah.
I like that. Tell me more.
He proposed that we have three interconnected aspects of self.
Uh-huh.
The individual self, the relational self,
Okay.
and the collective self.
All right. So break those down for me.
Okay. The individual self is all about our unique traits,
Yeah.
goals, aspirations,
What makes us us?
what makes each of us distinct.
Yeah.
Then there's the relational self,
Mm-hmm.
which focuses on our close relationships
Okay.
and the shared experiences that bind us to others.
Uh-huh.
And finally,
Yeah.
we have the collective self,
Okay.
highlighting our membership in various social groups
Right.
and the sense of belonging and identity
Yeah.
we derive from those affiliations.
So it's like we're wearing different hats
Kind of,
depending on who we're with
Right.
and what situation we're in.
Exactly.
Sometimes we're emphasizing our individuality, and other times we're like highlighting our connection
Yeah.
to a particular person or group.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
It's fascinating to think about how these different selves
Yeah.
come into play in our various relationships.
You might express your individual self more freely with close friends,
Yeah.
while your relational self might be more prominent in interactions with your partner.
That's so true.
Right.
Okay, so what other
Yeah.
insightful perspectives?
Well, we can't talk about human connection without mentioning Abraham Maslow.
Maslow's hierarchy.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember that pyramid?
Yes, from psychology class.
Yes.
It's all about those basic human needs.
It is about those basic human needs that drive our behavior,
Yeah.
starting with those physiological needs.
Food, shelter at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Yeah.
Then we move up to safety and security, followed by the need for love and belonging.
Okay.
Higher up, we find esteem needs.
Yeah.
And at the very top, self-actualization.
Right.
Which is all about fulfilling our potential.
Yes.
But what's relevant to our deep dive today is that Maslow placed belongingness, that need for love, connection, acceptance, right in the middle of the pyramid.
So he was saying that belonging is just as essential
It is.
as those basic needs.
That's food and shelter.
Like food and shelter.
Yeah.
Because it enhances our survival.
Right. We are wired for connection.
We are.
Relationships give us emotional support.
They do.
Sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Countless opportunities for growth.
And we thrive when we feel a sense of belonging.
And on the flip side, loneliness can be incredibly detrimental.
Absolutely.
To our well-being.
We're social creatures.
Yes, we are.
Now, one final perspective I want to introduce you to is the work of Martin Buber.
Cool.
A philosopher who offered a profound way of thinking about the quality of our relationships.
All right, Martin Buber.
Yes.
What did he have to say?
He distinguished between two types of relationships.
Yeah.
It.
Okay.
And I-thou.
All right, so I-it versus I-thou.
Yes.
What's the difference?
In an I-it relationship, we treat the other person as an object.
Okay.
Means to an end.
Like a transaction? It's transactional.
Yeah.
Impersonal.
Okay.
Think about your interactions with a cashier at the grocery store.
Right.
Or a customer service rep on the phone.
Yeah, you're just trying to
get something done.
Get something done.
It's not about connection.
Not at all.
And I-thou.
I-thou?
That's where the good stuff is.
Yes, I-thou. Relationships are characterized by genuine presence, mutual recognition, and a deep sense of connection.
So you're really seeing.
You're really seeing the other person.
As a unique individual, worthy of your full attention and respect.
It's about going beyond the superficial.
It is.
Yeah.
Those everyday transactions.
Right.
And really engaging with the other person.
On a deeper level.
On a deeper level.
Yeah.
Buber believed that I-thou moments, although often fleeting, are essential for our well-being.
I like that.
Yeah, they offer us a glimpse into the highest form of human connection.
And they can happen anywhere. Right.
It can happen with a romantic partner.
Yeah.
A friend, a family member.
Yeah.
Even a stranger you encounter on the street.
You just connect.
You connect.
On that deeper level.
Yeah. It's a reminder that those seemingly ordinary interactions can hold extraordinary potential.
It's about being open.
Yes.
And present.
Exactly. And with that in mind, let's move on to the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
Where we'll explore how understanding attachment theory can help us cultivate stronger, more fulfilling relationships.
All right, let's do it.
In all areas of our lives.
I'm excited about this.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I am.
We're just getting started.
This is great.
It is.
Okay, so we've uncovered, you know how those early bonds with caregivers shape our attachment styles and like how those patterns play out in our adult relationships. But the big question is, can we change those patterns?
That's the question on everybody's mind.
Right. Is there hope for those of us who didn't have like that picture perfect start?
Well, the good news is those early experiences can cast a long shadow.
Yeah.
They don't have to define us.
Really?
Understanding attachment theory is actually incredibly empowering.
Because
it gives us the awareness we need to create positive change.
So where do we even begin?
So how do we shift those deeply ingrained patterns?
Yeah. How do we do it?
Awareness is always the first step.
Okay.
By recognizing our own attachment style.
Yeah.
And the patterns it creates. We can start making more conscious choices in our relationships.
So say someone's listening and they realize, oh, I've got some avoidant tendencies.
Right.
What can they do?
What can they do to create more secure connections?
Yeah. What are some practical steps?
Well, for someone with an avoidant attachment style, the key is to gradually lean in to vulnerability.
Ooh, that's tough.
It can be challenging at first because that instinct to pull away when things get too close is strong.
Yeah, like their comfort zone
Yeah.
is like built on emotional distance. So how do they break down those walls?
It's all about taking small steps.
Okay.
First, just notice those avoidance patterns.
Okay, so like what are some examples?
Maybe it's deflecting compliments,
Okay.
keeping conversations superficial, withdrawing when emotions run high.
Like shutting down.
Yeah.
Okay, so once they identify it, then what?
Then it's about gently challenging them.
Okay.
So, for instance, instead of brushing off a compliment,
Yeah.
they could try saying thank you
Okay.
and allowing themselves to feel appreciated.
That sounds simple, but I bet it's really hard.
It can be for somebody who's used to
Yeah.
shutting down those feelings.
Yeah.
It's a process of building trust,
Right.
little by little,
Yeah.
trusting themselves to handle those vulnerable moments and trusting others to be there for them.
Okay. That makes sense. What about someone who's more anxious?
For those with an anxious attachment style,
Yeah.
the focus shifts to developing emotional regulation skills and cultivating self-soothing practices.
So instead of like always needing that reassurance from the partner,
Right.
they need to find ways to,
kind of calm their own anxieties.
yeah, calm themselves down.
Yeah. It's about shifting that source of security
Okay.
from external validation
Yeah.
to a stronger sense of self-worth.
So what are some like
Yeah.
examples of that?
This might involve things like mindfulness techniques,
Okay.
journaling,
Yeah.
engaging in activities that bring them joy,
Yeah.
and a sense of inner peace.
Because if your sense of security depends on your partner's every move,
Right.
you're going to create so much drama
It's exhausting.
and tension in the relationship.
It's an exhausting way to live.
Yeah, you're constantly
You are.
like on edge,
Yeah.
waiting for that reassurance.
Exactly. And it's much more empowering to learn
Yes.
how to regulate your own emotions.
Yes.
Create that inner stability.
So no matter what our attachment style is, Yeah. self-awareness is like
Self-awareness is crucial.
crucial.
It is.
It's about recognizing those patterns.
And then making conscious choices to break free from them.
Yeah, you're taking control of the blueprint
You got it.
instead of letting it control you.
And it's important to remember that change takes time
Yeah.
and effort. There will be setbacks.
It's a process.
It is moments when those old patterns resurface.
Totally.
But that's okay. It's all part of the process.
It's like learning a new language.
It is.
It's awkward at first,
Yeah.
but then
With practice,
with practice, it gets easier.
it becomes more natural.
Right. And like having a supportive environment
Yes.
can make such a difference.
It can.
Right. So like surrounding yourself with people who are understanding
Yeah.
and encouraging can really help.
Absolutely. And if those old patterns prove particularly stubborn,
Yeah.
seeking guidance from a therapist
Okay.
who specializes in attachment theory
Yeah.
can be incredibly valuable.
It's like having a coach
It is.
in your corner
Exactly.
to help you.
Reach your full potential. Exactly. And remember,
Yeah.
we're not just talking about romantic relationships.
Oh, that's true.
Attachment theory applies to all our relationships with friends,
family, colleagues.
colleagues, everyone.
So understanding these patterns
They really help us
create more harmony
in all areas.
and connection in all areas of our lives.
Yeah.
Precisely. And it's not just about the individual level.
What do you mean?
Attachment theory has some fascinating implications for society as a whole.
Okay, hold on. How so?
Or imagine a society
Okay.
where the majority of individuals
Yeah.
had secure attachment styles.
I'm trying to picture this.
What would that look like?
I'm picturing like a world with less conflict,
Less conflict.
more empathy,
Yes.
cooperation.
Exactly. People would feel safer expressing their emotions,
Yeah.
setting healthy boundaries.
Because they wouldn't be driven by all those fears and
Yeah.
insecurities
Right.
that cause so many problems that often lead to unhealthy competition, defensiveness, and conflict.
Wow. So fostering secure attachment
Yeah.
from early childhood
Especially starting in early childhood.
can create like a ripple effect,
It can.
positive change.
It all comes back to awareness.
Awareness.
The more we understand about attachment theory,
Yes.
the better equipped we are
To create change.
to create positive change both in our own lives
Yes.
and in the world around us.
Oh my gosh, my mind is blown.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. This is so fascinating.
It's a lens that can bring clarity,
Yeah.
compassion,
Yeah.
and hope.
It's not just about analyzing relationships. It's about understanding
Yeah.
those deeper emotional currents
Right.
that shape them and then using that knowledge to
Right.
create like
More fulfilling connections.
better connections.
Exactly. It's a journey of lifelong learning and growth.
Yeah.
And As our understanding of ourselves and others deepens,
Yeah.
so too does our capacity for connection.
Before we wrap up this part,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
So we've been talking about secure attachment
Yeah?
as like the ideal.
Right.
Are there ever situations where like the other attachment styles
Yeah.
could be advantageous?
That's a great question.
Right.
While secure attachment is generally associated with
Yeah.
greater well-being and healthier relationships,
Yeah.
there are definitely contexts
Okay.
where other styles might offer certain advantages.
Okay, give me an example.
Okay, think about like a high-pressure, fast-paced environment.
Okay.
Someone with an avoidant attachment style
Yeah.
might thrive
Okay.
in those settings
Why?
because they're able to stay focused on the task at hand
Right.
without getting bogged down by emotional considerations.
So their emotional detachment
Yeah.
an asset.
Can be an asset
Interesting.
in those situations.
Okay.
And somebody with an anxious attachment style
Yeah.
might be incredibly attuned to the needs of others,
Okay.
making them exceptional caregivers
Mm.
or leaders who are deeply invested in the well-being of their team.
Okay, so it's not about
Right.
like good or bad.
It's not.
It's just about
It's about understanding the strengths
yeah,
and the challenges associated with each style
and how those traits
and recognizing how those traits might play out
play out in different situations.
in different situations. Exactly. It's all about context
Right?
and appreciating the incredible diversity
Yes.
of human experience.
I love it.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach to relationships.
This is so fascinating.
It is.
Thank you so much for
Okay.
like sharing all of this.
We're welcome.
I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding
I'm so glad to hear that.
of myself and the people in my life.
Remember,
Yeah.
we've only scratched the surface when it comes to attachment theory.
I know there's so much more.
There's a wealth of resources available
Yes.
for those who want to delve deeper into this fascinating field.
We'll be sure to include links in
Yeah.
the show notes.
Wonderful. As we move into the final part
Okay.
of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question to ponder.
So we've explored attachment theory like inside and out.
We have.
From those early childhood experiences
Mhm.
to, how those patterns play out in our adult relationships?
Yeah.
But how do we actually use this?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah. How do we put this knowledge into action?
Now that you're armed with this deeper understanding,
Yeah.
I want you to consider this. What's one small change you could make
Mm.
in your relationships today
Okay.
to foster a more secure connection?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's really challenging us
It is.
to like take action.
It's not just about understanding the theory.
Yeah, it's about doing something.
It's about using that knowledge to actually create positive change.
Yeah.
And remember, even the smallest shifts
Yeah.
can have a ripple effect.
So true. And as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to remind everyone that, even though those early experiences are powerful,
Right.
they don't define us.
They don't.
We can rewrite those blueprints,
We could
create healthier,
Every
more
time.
fulfilling connections.
It's never too late.
It's empowering to know
It is.
that we're not stuck
We have the power to change.
with those patterns
We do.
in childhood.
And the beauty of attachment theory is that it doesn't just benefit us as individuals.
Oh, yeah. How so?
It has the potential to transform
Okay.
our communities
Mm-hmm.
and society as a whole.
Right, like we talked about earlier.
Yes.
A society
Mm.
filled with securely attached people
Imagine.
would be more compassionate,
Yes.
empathetic,
It's a
cooperative.
beautiful vision.
It is.
And it starts with each of us.
Yeah.
It starts with that one small change,
That one small change.
that conscious choice to move towards more secure connections.
I love that.
Yeah.
This has been amazing.
It has.
Like such an eye-opener for me.
I'm so good.
I hope it's been the same for you listening.
I hope so too.
It's given me like so much to think about.
It's a lot to process.
And a whole new way of looking at my own relationships.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic.
It has. I hope you listening feel empowered to continue this journey
Yes.
of understanding and growth.
Keep learning.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive
Thank you.
into attachment theory.
Yeah,
Remember, understanding your attachment style is just the first step.
it is.
The real magic happens
It does.
when we use that knowledge
Yes.
to create
Those more fulfilling relationships.
stronger, more fulfilling relationships.
You got this. You do. Until next time, keep exploring the amazing depths of human connection.